Hi, if you've never seen me, my name is Colleen. I'm a beginner when it comes to film photography, but I like to document my experiences with it. So recently I decided to try shooting with expired film. I've seen a little bit about it through other film photographers that I followed. I was really intrigued because when it comes to expired film, you never know how it's going to turn out. It could turn out brand new, it could not turn out. Going into this experience, there was 3 things I knew about expired film. One is, although it does expire, the expiration date is kind of like a warning or like a so that you don't get mad at the company and so that the lab that develops the film can't get like sued or you can't get mad at them because they told you should use it by this date, but it's more of a best by date because number 2, depending on how you store it and the quality of the film is how it will last. The main reason that your film will age if it is stored improperly, such as some people do food. They have film that was stored in like stew or something, and then that comes out funny because the stew started to mold into it. So obviously if you want your film to stay good quality, don't put it in moldy environments with water and food and stuff. And temperature. Film does damage with heat, so if you have film that was supposed to expire 20 years ago but it has been kept in a cool, dry fridge for those 20 years, maybe even a freezer, it might still look brand new. Third thing I know about expired film, overexpose 1 stop per decade that the film is expired. So say your film is normally for 200 ASA or ISO, you're going to overexpose it to 100 ASA or ISO if it is a decade expired, and 1 more after that if it's 2. I've seen a handful of people claim that that's a hoax, but as you'll see in this video, that worked for me. And if I know it works for me, if I shoot with expired film again, I am going to continue doing that because I know that it turns out that way. And if I know it turns out, then I don't want to waste a roll of film figuring out when it doesn't turn out, you know? From there, I just needed to figure out where to buy expired film. Where I started looking was eBay and Etsy. I ended up getting it from Etsy. Sometimes it's really expensive because people know that they're interested in it. Sometimes it's really cheap because you might find it at like a swap meet. If you're lucky enough, there'll be like a swap meet or a little film store or something in your area where people will be selling their expired film for cheaper. But places like eBay, Etsy, and even Depop, they're going to be a little bit more expensive because people know that you're specifically searching for expired film to try out and use. A lot of the ones on Etsy were around $6, $5 for it. A lot of the ones on eBay, except for the really high quality or the older film that's hard to find, were around $6. And the ones on Depop also per film roll are about that, although I did see more overpriced ones on eBay. I got mine from a place called Lamps 2 Studios. It was about $6 for a roll of 24 exposures. I think that was a pretty good deal. It did cost like $5 in shipping, but like what are you gonna do about that? They were very quick with it. It was packaged really nice. It had a great note. I will have their shop link down below because they were really nice. This was Kodak Gold 200, 24 exposures. It expired in April of 2009. At the time I shot it, it was almost 12 years expired. Since I typically use Portra 400 non-expired and I didn't see any for sale expired, I wanted to try something that I had heard of and was somewhat familiar with. I asked my friend Shy to come shoot with me because she shot film a couple of times before. I thought it'd be fun. It was really fun. Oh, your hair kind of like looks really good with it. You have to pose, man, because and what I thought was fun and interesting, in the description of the film, it said they had been keeping the film cold and well for as long as they had had it, but previously they had no idea how the owner stored it, so that means they have no idea if it was like severely heat damaged, if there was possible like molding or water damage on it, which I thought that was really cool because in the end I ended up being a little bit more adventurous since I didn't even know if this film would turn out regardless of what I did to it, and most of the photos actually turned out really well. Like something I really wanted to try on film but I was scared to waste a little bit of film on before was long exposures. So for 2 of the shots I set it at a really long exposure. One of them I just had Shy spin around and the other one I was turning my head a lot to see how that turned out. Oh my god, wait, try that. I'm gonna put it on a low shutter and then just spin. Just spin? Yeah, because I have it on a low shutter so it should. Colleen wants me to spin for her. I like that I'm trying to entertain your YouTube. Okay, spin, start spinning now. Spin, no, just like keep spinning. Keep spinning. No, just keep that. Yeah. Okay, probably, I thought that looked cool. I think they turned out really cool, minus the fact that the one of Shy spinning kind of looks like she doesn't have an arm on one side. But now I'm like really happy that I know that that's how long exposure would turn out on film like that. I actually didn't notice anything up with the colors whatsoever. Kind of happy about that, kind of disappointed in that, just because when I was going into it shooting on expired film, I was really hoping for something cool and interesting to happen. But I'm really happy that these all turned out so good. Actually, only 2 of them didn't turn out, and both of those shots not turning out were completely my fault. The first one, it was because I wanted to take her a picture in what I thought was a really reflective surface. The surface wasn't actually that reflective, so it kind of just looks like I took a picture of the inside of a building. But the next picture that I took in a reflective surface actually turned out to look like a reflective surface, so that was good. The second one, it's because I was using a 50 milliliter It's because I was using a 50 millimeter lens, and I'll just reenact how that went down. Literally, because this is what I did, right? So I wanted this nice cool angle, but I wanted it a little bit lower, and I wanted Shy's whole body in it, but the wall was right here, so I couldn't scoot back anymore. So I was like, okay, it looks good here, so I'm gonna scoot down as far as I can go. And then I was like this, and she still wasn't all in it, so then I did this. I had it on the floor, and I just tried to shoot it like that. And that obviously didn't work because she was in the viewfinder where I was sitting, and then I moved it over a little bit further, but she wasn't there when I moved it any further. I think shooting on the expired roll did really well for me to remind me of why I started shooting film, because I didn't want to be like a super insane fancy film photographer who has all the right tactics and does everything perfect. I just wanted to have something that was fun to have in the moment. The thing that intrigued me most and the thing that I enjoy most about film is that you take the picture and then you find it later. Like, I think I get so wrapped up in my phone sometimes that I'll be taking pictures, and the second I'm done taking them, even if I'm like in the moment with my friends and my family and I'm doing something with someone, if someone took a picture of me, I sit there and I stare at it for 10 minutes and I think about it and I edit it right then and there. And shooting on film helps me live a little bit more in the moment. It helps me set up the shot, take it, and then wonder about it later. And with my last roll of film, I got a little bit more intense about trying to take the perfect shot and everything. This just reminded me that it's like, you never know how it's gonna turn out with film. Even if you do everything perfect, you think like something funky could happen, and that's for me the joy of film. I really would next time like to find a film, like an expired film, that actually is going to turn out funky. I know it's cheaper, and for a lot of people the intrigue of expired film is just that it's so affordable, but for me I really want it to turn out like messed up. I want to see how messed up it looks. But here are my negatives if anyone was curious. I also 100%, if you live anywhere near like Phoenix, Tempe, Arizona, go to Tempe Camera to get your film developed. I love supporting a local company. Everyone there has been so nice to me when I've gone there, except for this one occasion, but we don't need to talk about it. But other than that, everyone has always been super nice to me, especially in the film lab. I think they're fair prices, and I would much rather support a local business. So I thought it was hilarious because I got my negatives back. I love that they do this. They give you a little preview card, because then before I hook the USB into my computer, I can know what shots like really turned out and what really didn't turn out. But when I got my negatives back, they gave me this little piece of paper. The top basically says, "Tech note, our lab technicians observe the following conditions during processing of your order. Possible causes are listed after each condition." And then they highlighted age or heat damage, film base discolored, prints discolored, accurate color correction is impossible. I think I kind of... See, I've never shot on Kodak Gold before, so I don't know for certain, but I did imagine it to be a little bit less greeny and a little bit more gold, so I guess that's where that came in. But I think that's really cool, and like very obviously they know more about film than I do. They develop it all day every day. And here's what my negatives look like when they came back here. I also need to just shout out and appreciate Shy's eye for film, because she made me look really good in these photos. probably better than I made her look. I'm like, the film's expired anyway. If something funky's gonna happen to it, might as well make it funkier. I keep forgetting this is here now. I'm gonna have to entertain it. I will definitely want to try again. Let me know if there's like a specific expired film that you think I should try. Let me know if you have any questions. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. Colleen trained me how to take film pictures. What are you telling them? I'm telling them Colleen trained me how to take film pictures, and she's a good teacher, and everyone take her advice always. Heard you say I'm not the baddest, but you lie. It ain't my fault.